Hi, thanks for taking the time to view this audition, and hopefully at the end you'll hang around for a couple of reports I did that I actually taped today just for you to show you my interviewing style and technique. I really want to get back on the air. I spent more than 40 years in a variety of locations on the air at United Press International. I did more than 10,000 hourly newscasts, 250 on-the-road one-hour shows, and wore just about every hat. The good thing about UPI is that it was a well-respected company. It's still in business, but on a shoestring. But it was always on a shoestring, and we had to do an awful lot of things on very short deadline. I have worked on both sides of the microphone. I know government issues and regulations, having been a spokesman for the Secretary of Agriculture for 6 years and a congressional press secretary. But I've also been the interviewer asking the questions. I would love to accept a new challenge because right now I'm at a crossroads in my life trying to figure out what to do. So if you want to talk, I would welcome a phone call. In the meantime, here are 2 reports that I put together for you today. Thanks. It's something we've all done, sometimes 2 or 3 times a week. We've dropped a trash bag into a dumpster. But how many of us have ever followed that trash bag to its final destination? Few of us have ever been inside a landfill. Those who have taken trash to the city dump have usually only seen the outside of the facility. Richard Dale is with Hatchet Waste Management. He says the average American has no concept as to just how much stuff goes to landfills every day.
I don't think that the residents in this community ever have thought out, where does all of this really go? Just 2 weeks ago, a new law passed, and we're no longer able to set out anything electronic. Now, that's more or less going toward helping us with not putting mercury and things into our water table. But, again, what does one do with all of that stuff? I had a large TV that needed to be moved, so I took it to the Goodwill for recycling.
And how much have the regulations changed just in the 15 years that Dale has been with his company?
There are a lot more restrictions now. If someone lives in a, quote, community where they pay a maintenance fee per month, that community association purchases a removal service to find someone that will pick up glass separately, electronics separately, paper and plastic separately. Things have changed quite a bit over the last 15 years.
Many people have to sort their trash before leaving it at the curb. Some cities do not yet have recycling programs. But if the concern continues about landfills, and also the concern over environmental pollution caused by those facilities, pretty soon nearly everyone will be outside sorting his or her trash. For Capital Public Radio, I'm Dennis Daly. Now, here's spot number 2. The world is seeing some immediate effects of global warming, the melting of the ice cap, for example, but also temperatures are increasing, and that means more rain. Forecaster Carrie Dean says the coming of more rain to many agricultural areas will cause some unexpected problems.
There's 2 things, actually. One is the chemicals. Extensive use of chemicals, and I don't mean just fertilizer, but herbicides and pesticides that run off into the streams and produce toxic conditions for the fish and wildlife. That certainly can be a problem.
And the other problems could be seen not on the farm, but in the cities.
So much asphalt and concrete now that the water runs off immediately and does not have any time to disperse. So we have compounding problems, and also the fact that most of our infrastructure is not set up for 100-year storms.
And forecaster Carrie Dean says there is an accumulated layer of toxicity that is just below our feet.
Well, over the last couple of 100 years, we have extensively polluted the upper few inches of the soil with chemicals from agricultural, chemicals that bleed out of the substances like asphalt and concrete, and that's still there, just a few inches below the surface. So if you're allowing that to drain down to the water table, I think that's one reason that we're seeing an increase in the toxicity of some of the city water systems around the United States.
And Dean says if global warming does bring about more rainfall, the toxicity problem in groundwater is going to have to be dealt with quickly. For Capital Public Radio, I'm Dennis Daly. Well, thank you very much for taking the time. Please consider my application. And if I'm not a good fit for you right now, would you pass this URL on to somebody else? Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.